Yeah, I haven't to the realization to actually pay for Zoom yet.
Oh. All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this, maybe recorded. This is Jess Markowitz, your Upline Superstar Director of Angels of Light Group. And we're so happy to have you here today, whether you're new or seasoned. This is such an exciting time for everyone. And I am hoping that I sent the correct link, because usually there's more people on and I've been hyping Wendy up and everybody's so excited. So if you are trying to get on, please message on the Facebook Live link and I will see it, and I will, I'm actually going to paste the link in so you can, in the comments, so you can jump on. So I'm worried that I did not update the link from our last link. Okay, anyways, without further ado, let me just share some updates really fast of what's going on, and then we will get right down into our awesome guest speaker. So today was a big launch. We had lots of things launching. We had the Scents of the Seasons. We had the, oh gosh, and I'm like going blank with that. The new limited edition warmer had like ice skating rinks. I can't even remember the name right now. Lots of things launching. We had Oogie Boogie came available, so that was awesome. And I'm the most excited about was the up warmer and bar. If you didn't have a chance to take advantage of that, one thing I always recommend is for you to check your news tab frequently, because a lot of people are like, how did you know that was happening? I had no idea. That's how all of us get the information. Even superstar directors, we get the information from the news tab. And so all the like detailed information of when it's going to launch, what's happening, all that stuff. So if you're ever wondering why people know things and you don't, it's just because they're looking at the news tab. So, I'm not quite sure. I haven't been on my workstation if things have been sold out since I went on and got my stuff. But when things like sell out really fast, Scentsy usually makes things right. And whether they do a new order soon, they may do it later on. So you can tell your clients, you know, it may come up an availability later on at a later date to be able to purchase it. The best thing and the most important thing, especially during this holiday season when things are the most kind of going crazy and really, really fast paced, is make sure you're always supporting your company. You want to make sure that you're not down talking bad about your company, showing frustration. Even if you're frustrated, we all get frustrated, but you have to remember that if you show negativity towards your business, it's towards your business. It's towards you. It's not towards, you think you're downplaying the company, but you're really affecting your business. Because that's how they support you, is by your reflection of what you do. So that's just a reminder, especially, and then another just little plug about during this holiday season, because we're, you know, rocking and rolling, one of the biggest months of the year, last paycheck before Christmas, is that if you do have some frustrations, confusing, your business is booming, it's growing probably faster than you can kind of keep up with, make sure you connect with your upline. We always call it cry up, and meaning the people above you, which I don't really like to say that kind of thing, except for in the cute way of the Disney Up movie. But we've all probably experienced some type of experience that you're going through, frustration, whatever it is. And if we haven't, we probably know somebody that has, and we can direct you and share with you some, maybe some tips and strategies of how to get through that. But the biggest, most important thing is to not cry down to your team in your downline, and especially not your clients, because again, it's only affecting your business. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that, registration for World Tour, that's a big deal. If you've never been, it's like a mini version of our big fall Scentsy family reunion in July. And it's a great way to see what's coming for the spring. It's a great way to reconnect with fellow Scentsy consultants that you may not have ever met, but they might be in your area, and just great networking. And it's a great way to get your Scentsy spirit cup filled. So you may have some barriers with COVID still. There is a virtual option, but I will encourage you, if you can go live, I really encourage you to go, because it is definitely how I always call Scentsy events kind of like your baptism to your business. You really figure out and find out what the big hype is about Scentsy and the business side of it, and why we call each other Scentsy sisters and brothers. It's because that's where we literally build and find our family. We have like our guest speaker today. I would have never known her if it wasn't for Scentsy events. And that's how we build relationships, and we, help each other with each other's businesses. She scratches my back, I scratch hers. And the cool thing is that we get to learn from each other. And that's, and we're not in each other's teams, upline, soundline, downline, nothing. It's, you get to share your skills, your experiences with each other, and you would have never known those people, and be able to reach out and get that support from other people if you don't participate in things like that. So big plug and encouragement for you to do that. And then the last thing that I just want to put a plug in really fast is there is the dates and times for cutoff for Scentsy Christmas shipping. If you go to your news tab, it will show that December 8th is the APO, FPO, and Guam cutoff. So if you're on a military installation or in Guam, that is your cutoff. Canada is December 9th, Mexico is December 10th, and then December 15th is us here in the US and Puerto Rico. So a little tip, this is what I do. You could do what you want, but if you don't want to be running around on Christmas Eve delivering gifts, orders, I would maybe cut off your date to your clients like a day or two. And so it's the 15th. So I tell my clients the 13th. So I'm wrapping up my month for Christmas gifts, not for the whole month, but just for the shipping orders that need to be in before Christmas, a couple days early. And then I'm able to deliver and get everything out before Christmas Eve, and I can enjoy my time with my family. So that's just a little tip. Without further ado, I have a very dear friend, Wendy Marks, Superstar Director, that is here with us today, and she's going to be sharing with us. This month is our theme of events, because we tend to do a lot of events in the fall. People are doing fall, festivals, things like that. And just lots of just vendor events to kind of get gifts out and things like that. So I'm going to share a little bit about her. I'm just going to actually share her bio that she shares on her website. And so another little plug, if you don't have your bio on your website, it's definitely important too, so people can get to know you. So it says, I am a U.S. Coast Guard nurse's wife and stay-at-home mom to two girls. Alex is 23 and Peyton is 20, and her and a fur mom to three spoiled fur babies. She has 4 grand fur babies and a grand tortoise baby. Oh, how fun! You need to tell me more about that when you get started. I loved being at home with my family, but when it was time to bring a little extra money, I was concerned about giving up flexibility and availability to my family. I didn't want to sacrifice school events, field trips, doctor's appointments, and have to worry about.
Look at the screen.
I'm sorry?
Look at the screen.
Oh my gosh, I've always wanted one of those. Oh my gosh, that is just, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Does she just like walk around your house?
No, she actually is in a cage that's next to where you can't really see it, but this over here, the part that's right there, is her cage.
Oh, that is so cool. Thank you for showing me that. I've always thought that was so awesome.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. We were talking about your concern for giving up flexibility.
Yes.
August of 2006, while living in Greenwood, is it Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I always get Arizona and Arkansas. I'm like, AZ is Arizona, Arkansas. A friend of hers showed her a catalog and had never seen the products before and was concerned about the fire and safety danger, especially when children running through the house, her cats jumping on the counters and burning themselves, or just forgetting to blow out the candle. Right? Same here. She went home and showed her husband Chris the catalog. They discussed it and decided it would be a good opportunity, since she moves around a lot and can take it to each new place where they move. They thought that the fact that it was flameless, wickless, scented candles that are safe, elegant, and fragrant, no black soot or lead being released into the air, it was a good opportunity. Then they knew that Scentsy was an amazing new item and introduced to her friends and family. Also, Scentsy is much less expensive than jar candles, which I'm glad she shared that, because if you do the research, you will find that that is absolutely true. Let's see, where am I at here? This is really good stuff. I'm getting to know a lot about you too. Where am I? Oh, I think I went, oh, here we go. Okay. So it was an opportunity to save money on candles herself. So every angle was a win for them. It isn't every day you get the opportunity to be a part of a new fast growing company. After selling Scentsy for a few months, she realized that the amazing product sells itself, low startup costs, tons of incentive, lots of benefits, and so much more. While in the US Coast Guard, her husband got orders to transfer to Guam in August of 2007, and with Scentsy, and they were able to help were the first consultant to take Scentsy out of the US, which is so awesome. Then in October of 2007, they moved up to the rank of director. In May of 2009, they moved to Florida. In September of 2009, they moved up to the rank of star director. And then in October 2009, they moved up to the rank of superstar director. After her husband got out of the US Coast Guard, in May of 2010, they moved back to their home, Santa Fe, Texas. In May of 2012, they bought a house in League City, Texas. Her husband became a nurse in June 2012, and he helps share it with he helps me share it with our family and friends while working our business together. And then in 2013, she earned her first incentive trip, and all expenses paid, to British Columbia for herself and her husband. In 2018, she earned another incentive trip to the Mediterranean cruise, stopping in Spain, France, and Italy. These are great plugs for why you should grow your business, just so you guys know. This could be your life. But her husband and two girls come first, and we got to take our girls to Disney World for Christmas, for Christmas. So she chose another option to spend time with Scentsy family at the annual convention in California, where she got to go to Disneyland. And in January 2020, she earned another incentive trip to her annual Scentsy family reunion in Salt Lake City. And she said, I never imagined that only after 15 years, we would be, we were able what's
We
that?
would be where we are today.
Where we are today. Okay. Totally talking too fast and reading too fast. We never thought that this business would change our family's life in so many positive ways. We have met so many amazing people, like I was saying. How easy it is to sell Scentsy, helping them create their own journey with Scentsy. We are grateful for our team of wax boss ladies and men who have created their own journey and helped others create a journey for them also. Okay, so that is such an amazing, I just shared her whole story. I think that's, I got to read it and learn a lot about her. So now you know what an incredible person Wendy is. And so I'm going to shut my little trap and let her share with us her experiences. Because as you could just by what I shared, she's been in this for a long time. So she has seen tons of seasons, different ways this business have changed, different ways to work her business that she's had to probably change with the times. And so I am so excited. I got my pen and even my highlighter ready to, to hear all the ways that she works her events. And along the way, if some questions pop up, I'll probably ask her, and then we'll have some Q&A at the end as well. So without further ado, my sweet friend, Wendy, go ahead.
Okay, so hi. So I'm trying to figure out how you really want me to say what I do at events, but that's where I get stumped because I'm not, which is really weird. My husband says I don't know a stranger and I'm not nervous, which I am, to be honest, just a smidge, which is really weird. But so I used to only do 2 events a year, but since my accident in September, I don't know if Jesse told you, I was on a wheeling accident in Idaho with Chuck Thompson and Michael Borg. And this was before Superstar Director Summit. So we were actually wheeling. If you're kind of wondering what wheeling means, it's actually, we were in our Jeep in Idaho, right up the road. And I had got out of the Jeep to take pictures, slipped and fell, and did a tibia-fibia break in my leg. Didn't get to go to Superstar Director Summit at all. So, but the positive thing out of that is, yes, the only thing that I could say is positive is that I got to actually get out of the event that I was in, because I was in one event to where I had been doing it for so many years, and I found out that there was another consultant at that event. And when I asked the coordinator about it, she kind of hinted around like, no, there might be, I'm not sure. And I'm like, well, you should know that there's another consultant, you're the one that is in charge of it. But, and I was worried about actually doing the event with having a broken leg, which I can, knock on wood, I can walk now, I can drive. In short distances and stuff, and then walk without my boot, except for, unless I'm in tennis shoes or whatever, but I'm doing good. But I did the event for several years, only twice a year, and I'd never really got repeat customers from it. So that's the reason that one of the reasons I got out of it. And then the other reason was because of my leg. But it takes a lot, events are, one thing that you need to take into consideration is doing events. You're not going to do an event to get customers. Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. Most of the people that go to events are the now customers, if you know what I mean. Say, for example, Susie Q wants this little Scentsy go. And she sees you have one, but she can't order it online. She doesn't want to order it from Jesse, even though Jesse has one online. She wants it right now. So that's what I mean when I say now customers. I never really got that many now customers from those events. And if you want repeat customers, the best way to get repeat customers is to do, the Amy app or, have parties. But doing events are fun. They're a lot of experience, and it's a lot to keep up with. So if you're going to do an event, you have to be prepared. So, but one thing that my husband actually started doing recently is, since we stopped doing my event, is he actually, which we're not finished with it, but he actually created an app to where it's not really an app. We bought an app that scans the QR code on the Scentsy bars, and it actually puts them into a Google document. And like I can scan it and type in, like 2 bars of Christmas cottage, and then have it in one box, and then go in and scan it from another box and have it in the other box as 2 bars. And then eventually he's going to create a spreadsheet that links them all together. Like say I have Christmas cottage in this box, and then I have Christmas cottage in this box. Well, the spreadsheet will actually put them together to where it shows I have 4 bars of Christmas cottage. It doesn't matter what box it's in.
What's the name of the app?
It's not, let's see, let me find it. But he's got to create the spreadsheet that actually does it once we scan it in. The app is called Scan to Web.
And like TO and then
SCAN and then to web. I don't know if it's gonna let you see.
no, it's like all blurry.
Yeah.
Can you screenshot it and then just like message me it and when
Yeah.
we're done or whenever you can? But you're saying that the spreadsheet can be linked to the app?
Yes. So what it is the spreadsheet actually links to the app. And let's see, I'm gonna try and
It's a Google document.
Yes, it's a Google Doc.
Awesome, because that's what I use my inventory on right now, and man,
Okay,
that
so I
would be
just sent it to
awesome.
you. Yeah, so what it does is it scans it, and then once you scan it, it goes into a Google document, and it shows, like, I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick, because it's on my Google OneDrive, but it scans it in there, and then it shows what everything is. It's called a barcode scanner.
Okay.
And we have it to where it shows, I mean, if we do screen share, I can actually show it to you.
Oh yeah, do you see the screen share at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm trying to see if I can find you again, picture. There it is. Let me move you over to the other screen.
Okay.
Okay, can y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the file itself. I'm trying to touch the screen, use the mouse. But so what I do is I do the barcode here, and I'll scan it in, and then I'll click whether it's a bar, warmer, whatever, and so on. So I put bars, warmer, mini warmer is what he has typed in, and then I go and I click the location, box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then it tells me where everything, where everything is. Now my responses has all the codes here. Let me see if it shows. Oh, I didn't even. So it has item type. It'll show a pie chart. Right now it shows that I have a little bars. And then it shows location, box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then it has all the responses by name. And I'm trying to see if I can find, let me see if I can find a spreadsheet. Oh, here it is. Click on that one, sorry. Okay, so here they are. So it shows when I scanned it in, has the name, quantity, and what box it's in.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Is there like a YouTube video or like how did you learn how to do this? Because I'm literally like, I see it and it makes sense, but how it all connects to the like form and all that, I'm like, what?
Well, here, hold that thought for a second.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, what did you do? They want to know how you connect the app to your form. Oh, okay, everybody, Chris is coming in the room. This is my husband.
Yeah.
The scanning app.
Oh, the scanning app?
Yeah, this is Chris. This is Jessie, my friend, super show director, and her downline. And then there's other people watching, but.
Hi, guys. Honestly, I have to look at my notes on Google. I researched it on like Google, how to scan things into Google form.
Oh, okay.
And that app came up. And then there's a video. There's a video on that app, and it explains how to do it. And then what you do is you get like it'll tell you how to get the URL. I think it's the URL the IP address basically for your sheet in Google. And then you link it to that app, and then as it does it, it just makes a little app for you.
Oh my gosh,
But-
that's so cool.
And then you pay, you're only allowed to scan like 50 things at first. And then after that, you pay $9.99 a year.
But I mean,
Sure.
even if
Wow.
you didn't, even if you didn't want to use the scanner, I mean, the scanner is really just for the barcode. And you can, and what I did is I first made what Google has is called Google Forms. It's kind of like Microsoft Forms, to where you can basically ask questions. It's kind of like a self-test, or it's
Survey.
you do it for like research. And then what Google Forms does is once you answer those questions, you can link it into a spreadsheet. It links to a spreadsheet. So if you didn't want to pay the money for the app or deal with the app, all you have to do is use the form, ask the different questions, and then you just manually type in. If you want the barcode in there, that's cool. If not, you can just manually type check bar, type in what it is, and then it'll go in your spreadsheet that way. Now, what I have to do to Wendy's spreadsheet still is I still have to make another sheet on it. So it correlates all the different items that she enters in it. And it'll tell her how many totals that she has and where. And that's what I'm working on now. So basically I'll take that spreadsheet, make another sheet in it, kind of like as a dashboard, let's say. And it'll say that she may have an autumn sunset in box 1, and box 4, she has 5 of them. So total she has 6. And then on the correlated spreadsheet, what it'll tell you is it'll say autumn sunset, you have 6 of them, one's in box 1 and box 4. And that way she knows where to go get them.
So when you are at an event or you're selling the product, do you scan it and it takes it out of the spreadsheet?
No, we haven't done that yet.
Is that,
So-
that option though? Is that?
Eventually, the what it's gonna happen is as she scans stuff in, as she scans stuff out and puts the quantity that she's scanning in or minus quantity out, it'll automatically update that dashboard spreadsheet. So it knows her quantities. It knows.
Awesome.
But again, there's some formulas that are involved. There's some craziness that's involved, because one thing I'm trying to overcome is, let's say she scans 4 out of box 4. How does it know to take it out of box 4 and not take 1 out of box 1, and now it's got a -3 in box 1. So that's what I'm trying to teach myself, how to make that work. So it's still a project. It's working. So at least she can go to something and see and do a search. I mean, before she didn't have anything. So now she can at least go to this spreadsheet, click on find, type in the bar that she wants to look for, and it'll at least bring up all the different times that and gives her somewhat of a clue on where to start looking for it, instead of digging through 7 boxes of 80 bars.
And then I can also have it on my phone too.
Yeah, because it's a Google.
Yeah.
So the Google Forms, the Google spreadsheets, if she's out and about, it's all Google. So if somebody goes, hey, do you have autumn sunset? She can bring up her spreadsheet, type in, find, and type in autumn, and it'll bring up all the autumns. And she goes, yep, I should have at least one or this many at home. So that way she can tell people right there on point. Now, again, it's those little things that I want to refine and make it better. But the scanning portion of it, you don't really need the scanning portion at all. Really, the scanning was just because I'm lazy and I can't see the little numbers.
But then it's easier because you don't have to, I mean, as a consultant, I mean, I know you're a consultant too, but having that barcode there and being able to scan it and scan in and out, that's easy.
Well, what I would like for it to do is to scan it and then automatically add and automatic, like you would put into a spreadsheet. Maybe one day I can do more without paying. I'm cheap, so I don't want to pay for it. So I have to come up with my own programming for the spreadsheet. So what I would like basically the sheet to do is say add or subtract, that button, and then scan it, and then it either adds it or it subtracts it, from whatever box that it does it from. So you would really 3 questions, hopefully eventually, would be add or subtract, what box it is, and then what's the barcode, hit submit, and it does it for you. Right now it's not there. So there's still some manual manipulation that needs to happen, but again, just the form, her using the forms, putting the stuff in, manually putting in -1, +1 is a whole lot better than what she had.
Absolutely. No, I love it. Like I use Google spreadsheets as well for my inventory, but to be able to do what you guys are doing with the form, I had no idea was even an option. So tell me about the box. So when you're at an event, you don't take everything out, you leave them in the boxes, and then you're able to say, if they're like, oh, do I have more? I can go into this box and I still have more. How do you guys use boxes?
When she goes to the event, she has a grid wall that she puts all of her product on, so they can kind of peruse through it, just like, shopping.
Yeah.
The boxes are more for here at the house, instead of having that grid wall up the whole time. It's a storage. And then eventually what I'm going to do is I have, some wire shelves that I'm going to get her with wheels on it, and all of her warmers are going to be put on there. So it'll be like shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, box 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that way she can at least get to the right shelf to find, whatever warmer she's looking for. Right now, she just knows by memory, okay, I thought I seen this, warmer on this shelf a year ago. And then she's got a really good memory for it. So she gets in the general location, she knows she's got it. It's just there's a search to find it.
Yeah.
And then eventually what will happen is, like I said, we'll get the shelves, we'll label the shelves, we'll put those warmers into the spreadsheet too. That way she can look on there and know exactly what shelf to go to and, add or subtract it. And, but again, it's a work in progress.
It was something to give me something to do when I was held up sitting on my couch.
Here's what happened. She was broken on the couch, and she goes, "Hey, can you go get a box of wax out of the back bedroom?" And I picked it up, and it all fell out. And I got mad, and I dumped all the waxes out and put them on the table and alphabetized them.
Oh yeah, that was a mess.
We're going to figure out some kind of system, because I'm sick of digging through these boxes looking for waxes. And I'm sick of, so I got all the same type boxes. I went to Lowe's and got all the same type boxes, figured out which one would best fit on a shelf, and that wasn't too heavy for her, not too heavy for me to carry around. It fits, like, I think we got what, 80?
Yeah, 80 in each box.
80 bars in each box. So, and it's small enough to where, a 10-year-old can pick it up. So, it's not overburdened. So, but that's where it came about. Is for a couple of years I've been saying, hey, clean your stuff up. I'm tired of looking at it. What you got, this room and 2 bedrooms?
Yeah,
that's what she's got. We got a 4-bedroom house, and she's taken 2 bedrooms and the dining room.
And that finally Mitch flipped out and said, we can't do this anymore. So we actually just moved 6 months ago. So
that was the problem is, in the military, we moved every 3-4 years. So we were purging. I think there's a closet that we haven't been in since we moved in. in the back bedroom. And that was what, 8 years ago? 9 years ago?
2012.
Yeah, almost 10 years ago. And there's some really nice stuff in that closet, like dive gear and maybe the Sasquatches. I think that's what they hide out. That's why nobody can find them. They're in my closet.
How funny. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing that. I'm excited to kind of watch that video and dive more into how to do what you did with her
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll try and locate all that stuff tomorrow when I'm supposed to be working. And
he's a practice manager for 2 OB/GYN clinics, so he doesn't get to wear scrubs anymore.
Okay, you're awesome. Thank you, Chris. We'd appreciate it.
I don't get to play
Don't get in
management. I gotta play manager, but yeah, I'll try and find those and send them to Wendy so y'all can at least get us. But yeah, I love Google, so I just start typing stuff in Google, but it'll lead you down a rabbit hole sometimes.
Yeah,
Never ending rabbit hole. So,
right. Thank you.
no problem, guys. Enjoy.
All right, you're free to run away.
All right, come on, let's go watch the movie. Let's go watch the movie. It's beautiful.
Okay, so yeah, there was some questions I did want you to share if you don't mind. Well, first, do you have any photos of like what your booth setup looks like that you can share with us on if you share your screen?
Yeah, let me turn it back around to see. Let me find it again.
Awesome.
Now I need to find y'all again. There you go. Okay. Like where? Oh no, I clicked on it. Oh no. Okay. Move you over to the other screen. I love working on 2 screens, but okay. So here's one of them. That's what my shelves look like at the booth.
That hasn't opened up for us yet. It's still just on the document.
Is it?
So double click on it because it hasn't actually opened up yet. We just see the tiny little one that's on in your file. We see like all of them, but in the file, so it's not like opened up yet.
What about now?
You may need to unshare and then share and select the opened one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Minimize this. So I don't know if you can see that yet.
We're still on the same page where your file is. When you share, you want to select the actual like photo.
All of them. Okay.
Or no, just the one that you want to show us. Like once you open it up, you'll click on that.
Can you see it yet? Oh, let's see here.
See.
Let me try it again. I'm sorry.
What about now? Perfect. Okay. So you've got your grid wall where all your bars are. You've got a few stackable, those are nice displays.
Okay, let me see if it'll let me find.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on OneDrive. Why is it showing the OneDrive?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, stupid thing. It's open. Let me close my other file. I need to close the OneDrive first.
Okay.
That's what it's doing, is it's trying to pull that. Okay. Okay, can you see that?
It's back to what we saw before. It just shows the file that you have with all tiny little pictures, but we can't see the pictures this time.
Mm. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, if you want, you could just maybe send them to me and then I could just post them on my page so people can have an idea. If it's for some reason it might not be letting you. Okay, so here are some questions I have for you. So do you determine how much you bring to an event depending on the size, or do you always just bring like everything you've got?
Okay, so like for the one event that I do, well, the two events that I did do, I say that I do, I don't do them anymore. But so like there was one of them was in March and one was in November. So I always knew that in November I had to bring more, because that's when everybody, you know, I would always sell more in November because that was closer to holidays. March was less. So I would bring probably like maybe, oh, excuse me, like a quarter, not half or even 3/4 less, you know, a quarter less than, I got the hiccups, I'm sorry, than what I would bring. Chris is texting me stuff for the app. So I would bring, let me see if I can see, because I think I have, so I have my fall and winter inventory, which I would have, so fall and winter, I would have around 313, no, let's see, 600 bars or more. The spring and summer, I would have around 400.
Okay, that makes sense.
So because I wouldn't need to spend as much, you know, than what I would if I had to bring more. I mean, for each season, in other words.
So I'm sure there's some newer people on here going like 600 bars. How do you get that? Like, can you share what your process is over the year to build up to that? Like how you do that?
Okay. So what I would do is Chris would try to get me in the habit of spending money over time, you know, but there would be like, I would have, each time I would sell stuff, like each event, say I sold like maybe 400 bars and I had 200 left from the November event. I would go in and replenish that amount of bars, but I would not do it because, like, say I knew I needed to get, you know, for the next fall and winter event. Okay, so we're in fall and winter, we're in November. And then the next time I have to order for the next event would have been March. So in January, which, you know, I would go in and start ordering more bars. Maybe I'd order them in December, but I would order the ones that I knew that were popular, that, you know, most of the time stayed, like perfectly pomegranate, black raspberry, vanilla, you know, stuff like that. In the beginning, I started doing that to where I would just order that, you know, the ones that I knew would be in the next catalog. But after doing it over time, I got customers that wanted camu in fall and winter.
Right.
And back in being in Texas, they wanted weathered leather all the time. They wanted perfectly pomegranate all the time, you know. So when they went out they took weathered leather out. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you ever heard, but there was a lot of superstar directors like, can we just have weathered leather just for Texas? You know, they're like, no, you know, but
2011 at convention in Fort Worth, and when they said we made a mistake, we'll bring weathered leather back in, and
yes.
Texas roared like
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I made sure that I had what I knew I needed. You know, one thing that I learned over time, because I did this event from 2016 up until this, up until COVID happened.
Mhm.
So I had everything ordered for last March, which was March of 2020, but they canceled it a month before, like 3 weeks before. So that's where I ended up stuck with a bunch of inventory. But so since I had that, he's still sending me messages. I'll definitely forward those to you.
Thank you.
But since I had all of that, inventory, I kind of was kind of like, okay, we're going to do the event in March, well, November of last year, they canceled it, which I knew they were going to.
Mhm.
And then, are they going to do it this past March? Well, they canceled it. And then they decided to do it this November. And then my accident happened and I was like, okay, no, this isn't going to work. So that's when I went ahead and canceled. But, doing that, one thing that Scentsy doesn't require you to do is they don't, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you're not required to have inventory. That is your own discretion. That's only what you decide you want to do. One thing that we learned when we were in Guam was being on an island that is out in the middle of nowhere, and it really did take 3 weeks for stuff to get there. You have a lot of customers that are now customers. Chris would joke around and say that Scentsy was like crack for women, because when the Navy husbands or the Coast Guard husbands or the Air Force husbands were away, or wives, because you do have men that like Scentsy, they would spend money on Scentsy and they wanted it right now. So I mean, that's where I learned how to build my inventory then. But one thing that you're starting out as a new consultant, you're not required to have it. You're not required to spend a lot of money. And one thing I usually tell people is, unless you're doing events, only way to build your inventory is doing it with Hostess credits and half price. Don't spend the money. Don't break the bank, because that's not the type of business you want to get into. Because, since he won't reimburse you, I wish they would, I wish they would reimburse you for the events, but they don't, but one thing that, you have to take in consideration is you are limited to amount of inventory that you can keep in stock by, I think it's by Scentsy laws. Am I right, Jesse? I mean,
Yeah, like unless you have a contract with an event, you can't have more than 2,000. If you have a contract, you can have more than 2,000. If you don't have a contract, you can't have more than 1,000.
yeah.
So if you don't have a contract showing you're about to do an event, you can't have more than $1,000 in stock.
Yeah, and then to flip your inventory, you just got to be very, very careful. Don't post it on the Facebook pages. If you do, like say you want to flip your inventory and you have like I did, cancel an event, you can post it on the pages, but you say, contact me for my list, and there's ways to do it. But now, one thing I will tell you, now they have with that new bylaw to where you have to take your 25% commission off of it.
Mhm.
Please, don't try to, one thing I will point out to you is don't try to get around that law.
Mm.
Don't sit there and say, I want to charge you full price. What? Okay, thank you. He said he sent me the links. Don't try to get around that bylaw and still try to charge somebody that 25%, which you've already made the 25% off of, because you may come across one consultant that will say, isn't there that bylaw that says that you can't? And then yes, swapping stuff can be great, but sometimes it can't, it just depends.
Awesome. So when you're at an event, how do you categorize your bars? Do you, when you lay them on your rack, do you have a certain system as far as like by color or by alphabet or by, name? I mean, obviously by name, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So let me look at the one that I did last time. Okay, so they are, let me zoom into this. They were alphabetized. There are some times that I've done them by color because people will gravitate towards color. There are some times that I've done them to where they were by category.
Mhm.
And then the way I know, which is really weird, is I know bars, and I don't know if this is just how my brain works, but you can tell me, okay, let me look at one as an example. Perfectly pomegranate. I know that's a red bar.
Mhm.
Black raspberry vanilla. I know that's purple.
Mhm.
Blueberry cheesecake. I know that's blue. And it's just, that's how my mind relates.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people. They'll come up and
Yeah.
say, "I don't know the name. I don't know what category. I just know it was red."
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
able to narrow it down to a
Yeah.
red, and then they'll say, "Well, it smells kind of like this," and then we'll go, "Okay," and then you can narrow it down. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So I used to do them by category to where they would have them like, all of the bakery, all of this, all of that. Well, then I ended up switching it back to where they are alphabetized. And the reason I did that is it's easier for somebody to find,
Mhm.
and it gets them out of the category mentality.
You're so
Meaning,
right. Yes.
meaning that somebody says, I only like bakery. That's all I want.
Yeah.
So, but if it's alphabetized, it's going to make them look. And then they might find 3 or 4 other bars over here that they didn't know they liked.
Yes. Love that. Okay.
So I'm
Um,
trying to see if maybe if I can. Can you see the screen?
Perfect. Yes.
So let me zoom out. So that's my bars, and these are all alphabetized.
And what does your little paper say there? Like prices or?
Yeah, it actually has all of the prices with tax.
Oh, smart.
So, and then one thing that I will point out to you, some people are like, well, I'm just going to eat my tax and I don't want to charge tax to people. Do you know how much money you're spending
Yes.
if you don't charge tax?
Yes. Sister.
And then one thing I always did is I put them as bars. So one bar was $6.48 with tax, Scent Circle $3.28, and so on. At first, I didn't do it in the multi-packs, with the bars. And this is all I never combined a warmer with the bars. I just did these multi-packs.
Okay.
But the reason why I say at first I didn't do them in the multi-packs, but buy 5 bars, get 1 free, is because somebody eventually is going to look at catalog.
Yes.
But if they end up, buying a warmer, 2 or 3 warmers and blah, 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 then I'll combine it. But
Got it.
so this one, I'm thinking this one was actually by color. This one's not alphabetized. These bars in this picture, these are by color, but eventually I went in and alphabetized them.
Awesome. Where do you remember? It's probably been a long time, but where did you get that grid, the rack?
Amazon.
It was Amazon.
I can send you the link.
Okay, yeah, I still haven't bit the bullet and got one of those yet. I have the small little racks, but the events that I've been doing lately, I'm like, man, I need to do a rack.
Yeah. So let's see if it'll let me look at the other. I don't know if it's going to let me find them. No. Okay, it says stop sharing. Let me see here. Files. Okay, is it still on the little picture?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you see that?
Mm-mm. So when you go to share, it should show you different screens and you select the screen of what you want to show. So what you have to open the picture up first and then,
Oh,
yeah. And then they'll let you select that photo. of
Okay,
what-
so let me see here. Let me go back into. Just crease this.
There we
You see
go.
that?
Yay, yes.
Okay, so that is actually, let me move this back over here. How did you get over there? This is actually the how I have my stuff displayed.
I like
The
that. Yeah.
liners.
I use those too. There's so much, I love the tiers because you get to see so much more. It
Mhm.
creates the illusion of like a store, you know, so and then they get to see everything visually. And and it also brings things up because it makes it eye level
Right.
for a lot of stuff. And then also the things at the top, like people are walking around and they can see it from a distance, which I love.
Yeah.
Little rack where your scent packs are, I have those right now. And it takes up so much space for my bars. And so
Yeah.
now I just put it in little bins, but
Yeah.
it takes up space on my table. So I'm like, I need to do this. Like I used to have a big rack and I don't know, from moving, I think from New Mexico to here, I don't know what happened to it. I never got a new one.
One
So
thing you can't see on this event is what you can kind of see it. If you can see what's really cool about this one booth that I had, there was a stage behind it. So if you see the railing here, you'd walk up these little steps, and the way I had my boxes is I had them behind the shelves in a U shape.
oh, I love that. And like and all stacked up so you can see them easily. So you can just grab
Yeah,
them.
so I can find them. Yeah.
Nice. Love that.
So let's see. Let's see here. Let me turn that off and turn it back on.
I know. That's the only part of sharing is like, okay, back and forth. Okay. Awesome. Oh, where'd you get that little room spray rack? Is that like a
That's Pampered Chef, but I think you can't find it anymore.
what was it supposed to be for? What do you like?
Spice rack.
It's a spice. Hey, now I think you could probably even find a spice rack like at Ross or something. Now that you said that.
Yeah, it's like a little spinny spice rack.
Okay.
And then this is with the oils is just like a little shelf, 2-tier shelf.
Love
and then
that.
you've got my drawing, and then my
Is that with the little ornaments inside for the holidays?
that's the drawing.
Yes.
That's the drawing thing I got from Office Depot, I think. And it has the ornaments. I even had an LED light in it.
Oh,
and
so cute.
And then I have another picture of, let's see here, of it. Let's see, let me find it. Of a table. Oh, there it goes. This is how I did it before. I mean, after.
Oh, love it.
And then I had this other shelf over here too.
Awesome. Oh, I have that exact little sleigh. Great idea. I'm like, I'm bringing that to put my little slips in.
Yeah, I borrowed the sleigh from a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
And I actually don't have a picture of it, but what I did for the drawing, sometimes I would do the drawing to where, and one thing that you can't do is you can't actually say what the drawing is, because since these bylaws, you can't say, you will win this, blah, 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 and I think actually.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to see what that says right there.
I think it just says, oh, sign up and then ask me for what the drawing is going to be. I think is what it said.
Awesome.
But what I ended up doing is for the drawing, which I don't have a picture of it, which I couldn't find it anywhere, but I would go and I would take all of my older testers, and I put them in a jar, in a container. And it was like, I think Chris got it at Walmart. It was a plastic container that had a lid on it. So I took all of my testers, and this is when we had the mini testers, because I haven't done an event with the fuller size testers yet because, COVID happened. But And I'd put them in there and I would have somebody, and it was even funner whenever you'd have two people that were together, but I'd have them guess how many were in that container. And this container was huge. I don't have it, it's in the back bedroom, but it was a big bin. And they had to write on the back of the door prize. And I wouldn't, on the door prize drawing itself, which is the box here, it didn't say what they got. It just has a picture of a worm. So the person that went, wrote down how many were in that container would win, closest to whatever number it was, they would win. And they would also, and what they would win is they would win all of the testers that were in the container with instructions on how to melt them.
Oh, wow.
And a mini warmer of their choice.
Wow.
But it didn't say it on the drawing. I told them myself. So when you had two friends that were with each other, this made it even more fun. And I would tell them, don't tell so-and-so what you think that number is, because you're competing for that wax just as much as they are. So then you would get somebody say, well, I've heard that, yes. And they would come tell me, what do you think of that? And it was just fun, and that's how I ended up getting rid of a bunch of my testers, because when you have a new season come, you get new testers, so I had testers coming out my ears, so that's how I ended up, but you tell them you get all that wax and they get excited, like, in the container, I think I had like almost 180 testers.
Wow.
Because at that time I had 5 sets of party testers, or the testers themselves. Now I only have 3 basket parties, but I would actually do that to where, that was the drawing, and they loved it. So
what I love is that you say join the fun for only $99. It kind of like, if they don't really know, they're gonna say, what do you mean join the fun? Right? Is that what you got a lot? Like they asked, like, what does that mean?
What does it mean?
Like join Scentsy, because that might scare them off. Like, what do you mean? But like, if join the fun, it's like, well, I want to have fun. What do I got to do for $99? Or what does that mean? So how did that, so if somebody came up to you and said that, like, what does join the fun for $99 mean? What would you say?
I would tell them it's the fun. When I say the fun, that means that yes, it is a business. And you have to treat it like a business, but not only do you have a business, you have an atmosphere of carrying people, you have incentives you can earn, you have trips, you have all kinds of stuff. Like not only just this recently have I realized that, but it's just a mentality. It's a family. It's yes, it is a lot. It is work. If you get into the business and you think of it as in just sitting on the couch and doing nothing, then you're not going to go anywhere. If you get into the business and thinking of it as in you want to go somewhere, then you have to work at it. It's got its ups and downs. But the fun part is all of the conventions and the events that we go to, and I'm loving her picture behind her. I don't want to know how she did that. Anyways.
That's awesome.
I keep looking at her picture. I'm not actually staring at you. I'm just looking at the picture. But it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's an experience.
That's awesome. That's a great way to explain it. That would make me interested. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so we're at a little bit over. I don't want to take you more because I know that you're even later than we are. So I just want to ask one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure. Let me turn my screen off, and that way you can have the chat back. Okay.
Oh, you know what? It's actually 2. Sorry, 2 very questions. One, what is the most important thing you think you should bring at an event?
The most important thing, bars.
That's
because no matter how many warmers you have, what people want is bars.
Yeah, got it. I agree. Okay, and the next thing is, do you have a follow-up system specifically for your event?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There are some times that I will go in and message people back from the event and they don't respond
Right.
because they're those now customers. You know, I mean, some people actually go in and set up Amy and they enter their customers in that way as they're doing it. They fill out, you know, the order forms and, you know, each time they do an event, they'll fill out an order form and then they'll go in and enter all the stuff in later. And if you're strictly on Amy, which, you know, I need to get back into it, but, you know, Amy is a really big help. You know, it's very helpful. But, you know, if you do the follow-up system, which, you know, if you stick to your follow-up system, which is the 222 or the 322, I actually did a training at convention on that, was to where you do, you know, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or you do 2 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. You know, it's just, if you stick with that, that is pretty much Amy does. But, you know, it just depends on how much you want to get out of it. There are some people that actually do follow-ups with their events, and they do probably have continuing customers that come back, you know, but it just depends on, you know, what you want to get out of it, you know. But you need to go into, and I don't know how you are, Jesse, but with that mentality is they're not going to be your forever customers. Some of them are, some of them aren't, because at events, they will buy from an event here, that consultant. They'll go to another event and they'll buy from that consultant. They'll buy from that consultant. You know, it just depends on how you, no matter how much customer service you put into it, if they're that type of customer that wants to buy from different consultant or different places, that's just what they'll do.
It's true. It depends on the person. And then there's the people that you still find people that have never bought Scentsy before,
Yeah.
which is what we're trying to find, people that don't have a consultant because they're new to Scentsy, or I find a lot of people that are like, oh, I used to buy Scentsy, but my consultant quit. And so it's up to us to go, well, now you got a consultant.
And I do have some that I've actually stuck with me.
Yes.
And then I have some that haven't. But one thing that you need to think about is I haven't, well, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I haven't done a home party in ages. You know, I mean, most of my parties are basket parties and online orders, you know. And then one thing that, and I don't know if y'all have seen the Hostess Packet. Have you seen it? Just
to do those.
Let me get it and I'll show you. Let me reel over here in my chair.
Have the most recent one. Got a home party. I think I shared it though.
Yeah. So this thing, which now that I think about it, I kind of wish I wouldn't have gotten such a big thing because they don't sell it anymore. But this is what they used to have on the family store.
Yes.
But it's so bulky. But the reason I did it is because I actually had somebody that melted my testers. But so this is the Hostess Packet.
I love that. You are so amazing for doing that. It's gorgeous. It's so informative.
I know it's kind of glare, but.
And I still put that inside my on-the-go parties.
Oh yeah.
And if you guys are wondering, what am I talking about? Go inside our guides in the Facebook group and it's in there. Wendy always shares it every season, which God bless her soul that she does, because that is not my talent. And then I put
easy, which I can show you. It's so easy. Let me get it. It's so easy. Well, I will admit I wasn't the first consultant that created this. There was another consultant that created it, and she whatchamacallit, had somebody else do it. Well, I ended up going in and redoing it. Let's see if this is it. and I'll show you how easy it is. Let me see here. Share. And let me move you back over so I can click back on the screen. Where is it?
I love it. We see it.
Okay, you can see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's so easy. It's Microsoft Word.
It is Word.
Mhm. And I've got it in 2 columns. Like, so you go to layout and you click your margin columns. So it's in 2 columns.
Okay.
And then normally when I'm editing, I have a line in between it. So I know where the middle line is. And then, I just go in and plug everything in. It's
And
so easy.
a lot of the stuff will stay the same. You'll just change colors.
Yeah. I just go in there and I change colors and everything, and like this is the fall and winter season. And if I go into, which I'm seeing if I can actually pull it up. Can you see that?
We still see the same. You'll have to go back out and go back in again if
Okay.
you're on a different page. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's see here. No. Close. Okay, can you see that?
It's the same thing. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. It's the same thing, but different colors.
Okay, so this one is Aussie with Aussie New Zealand. So the colors are different.
Yeah.
So, and the pricing is different.
I was just looking at that. I'm like, oh, it is not the same thing. It's different colors
Yeah.
and it's different numbers. So it must be a
different pricing. And
awesome.
And so, what I would do is I would go in and create, Chris would always joke and say that I would go in and I create the Hostess Packet, and I would spend hours and hours creating this thing. Well, now I've even thought about, you know what, I'm just going to go in a couple months before and just, or a month, 2 months before, go in and have the numbers will be the same.
Mhm.
And all I have to do is go in and edit everything else. So maybe if I go in 2 months before, because I've been doing this Hostess Packet, I think since 2017. But if I go in, like 2 months before, go in and change the colors. And then the month before, all I have to do is go in and plug in the page numbers. Because it has, most of the time, because you have a page number here, which is 48, which is the, the Scentsy system page. There's not that many page numbers that I have to plug in,
Gotcha.
and and then change a few pictures here and there,
Yeah.
change the font here and there. It's easy. And then the way that I get it, and I get a lot of people that will sit there and tell me, I even got messages from somebody last season, like, oh, can you send me an editable version of it? Because I want to change a picture here and here and add this here and here. And I'm like, no. I never responded to her, but the reason I say no is because if you want to know how to do it, just go in there, edit it yourself, and create it if you want to start all over.
Right.
But the reason I don't share the editable version is because all of this is in compliance. If I was to share the editable version, somebody may go in there and change it. Yes, it may not fall back on me, but I want it all in compliance. I know that this is not out of compliance.
Yes,
And
I'm a compliance junkie too. I'm
Yeah.
like crazy with that. There's so many things that people do that I don't even touch because I'm so scared to be in compliance.
Yeah. And there was one time that somebody actually went in and took one of the Hostess packets that I made, and I'll show you one for an example. She took it and it's actually in, oh my gosh, it's pretty, but the pages are off.
Oh, yeah, which is could be confusing for a host. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
definitely. This isn't right. Where is that page?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, she went in and, and did it, and I was just like, okay, this is weird. That's not right. Oh, here it is. Okay. So and this one's pretty. I will tell you it's pretty, but she went in and created it, and there can't be, there's no split. If you see, there's no middle page. There's no middle of the page.
Yes, I see what you're saying now. Yes.
It's pretty. And then one thing I will tell you is having all the foo-foo is nice.
Yeah.
But when you're sharing this with other people, you have to think of their ink.
Very true. Yes, ma'am. Amen for that.
So that's why mine is basic. And it doesn't have all the foo-foo, because I think if, when I go to create, like if, let me close this out and I'll show you mine. When I go to create mine, let me see, share screen. No, it's not gonna have to open it again. Let's see here. Fall and winter, USA. Snips. Oh, who are you calling? Snips. Okay, so let me go back in. Close. Sure. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so when I go in and I create mine, you see that it's all basic. And some of the colors, the only thing that's dark is this picture, but that's not that much ink. It's a little bit, but
it's still pretty. Like still, because it's colorful enough that it's still pretty. It's not, and you're right. And I love you for saying that, because a lot of people, consultants, tell me like, I print a lot of my stuff in black and white because I can't afford to print everything in color. And so that is seriously a concern when you become a business or owner of all the ink that you have to spend money on, because when we're printing things out constantly, it becomes an expense. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because some people think they have to print everything, and it's when they do that, because there is a lot of stuff when we need tools like this to make our hosting experience the best. So they have a guide, but they don't necessarily have to have it all foofy and fluffy, like you said, but that's still enough that, and it's nice enough that, like, even if they did do it black and white, it would still do the job and still be pretty, I think.
Right.
So
there was one that I actually did create that, let me see if I can find it, and it actually made it, oh my gosh, it was a mess. People had trouble printing it because something that I did, I don't know what I did, but let's see. Hostess Packet. No, that's not it. I'm just gonna go into my Google Drive. But I made this one picture, and then when somebody went to try and print it off, it didn't work out. It printed it off, and they weren't able to print it right.
Well, the ones you shared are amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. You are so generous, and I don't want to take you. I've already taken you 20 minutes past our hour.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
And for all of your tips and sharing your experience. I am so grateful for you, and I wish that we were supposed to be roommates at Summit, and then my husband decided to come, and then she got hurt, which was so sad. Oh, this is another one. Yes.
Okay, so this is the one, if you look at the picture here, that says the wanted kidnapping and everything. This is before we were able to find this one, the outlines. They're kind of hard to find. Well, I had a friend of mine that actually, well, not a friend, but another superstar director, when she went to go print it, these pictures the diffuser and everything came out black.
Oh,
So this is the part where I say, of not, making it editable.
gotcha.
Because if somebody went in and edited it, they wouldn't be able to print it.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So, I mean, and I used to actually put one thing, if you notice here, I used to actually put the compensation plan on the Hostess Packet. And this was like, if you look at it, it doesn't say how many pages are here, but there's quite a few pages.
Oh, okay.
And I this last 2 times, I condensed it down to 6 pages only, front and back, and then the Hostess, the compensation plan, the reason I took it out is because it's in the catalog.
Very true. They've got their catalog. No, that's true, to make it as simple and as
Yeah.
cheap as possible. Pages.
So if somebody were to print it, go in and edit it and then just print it off, and not save it as a PDF, and something about saving it as a PDF keeps it on pages. It doesn't separate them. So, but if they were printed off, you would have pages that were off, kind of like this one, because this is opening it up in Google as an editable version. Somebody goes in there, opens it up in Google and prints it off, it's going to be a mess, just like it is here.
Oh,
So, it's just, it goes with, what, you do. And so, sorry.
thank you so much for sharing. Again, thank you for doing this for everybody and sharing it with everybody. Since we've got Cindy on live. Cindy, do you have any questions or comments you'd like to share before we close it up?
I was just really interested in that scanning. That shows me something that I can look into and kind of mess with it a little bit. Yeah, mess with the Google Docs and stuff. I'm excited for that.
I want to know about your picture behind you.
Oh, so my husband took the bars and cut the clam on the back off, and then he trimmed them and just put them all together. Yeah, my husband did that for me. Yeah,
I love that. And my cat's in the background, sorry.
yeah.
That's cool. I would love to have that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, love you lots. Thank you so much, Wendy.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And then don't forget to tell them about Thursday. Because not only you got to see me tonight, but you'll get to see Jessie.
Yes, I will be her guest speaker on Thursday, and I will share with you guys the link so you guys can pop on. And,
Awesome.
and lots of you are already on that. It's on the think tank, right?
Yeah, the Scentsy Think Tank Academy, which is a big combination of different groups.
Yes. So I will be sharing. So I hope you guys, and I will make sure I post the time and everything for you guys. All right. Thank you again.
Bye.
Thank Chris for us.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.